Everybody, welcome to the worst GPP slate in the United States of America. I'll wait for Bobby here. This is a colossal shit show. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's just a very difficult slate.
They need this H2P stuff to make the speed. They pick five.
Number one, because
I call police storage.
it's only a 5-game slate, which is now going to be 4, and the two chalk pitchers are extremely chalky, and it's kind of tough to fade them, and I just don't know what to do. I'm going to tell you what I am going to end up doing, for better or for worse, and probably get out of here in a relatively quick period of time. I'll wait for Bobby to get here, and then we'll run one more build. I just can't quite get to anything that I want. It's all, it's all Snell and what's his name? It's all Snell and Ohtani, and I don't know what else to do about it. I mean, I could certainly leave money on the table, and I'm doing that. I think what I'm going to end up doing is getting some low-owned guys, because I'm probably going to play some of the San Francisco guys. The idea being that we don't even know what the lineup is, so you might get a little lower ownership on some of these guys, and you get some cheapos. That Machado guy is going to be cheap, and again, this is no bargain, because Arias is probably the best pitcher on the slate in general. But so I have no idea what to do. But Bobby, this is a ridiculous slate.
What's
right?
up?
This
It's
is
ridiculous.
slate, right?
Completely ridiculous. But
So
I think we can do some things.
yeah.
It's tricky. I think that I like my initial idea of playing some Oakland bats, even if you're playing Ohtani.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I think that you can get some power and some stolen bases off of him. So Laureano, assuming that he's in the lineup, Tony Kemp possibly for the speed side. I think that, and it really depends on how their lineup comes out. If they have Bird in the lineup, I would put minimum cost. It really does. It gives you a chance, at least on a slate like this, if you get it right. I'm also flirting with pitching Caprillion. I don't think that's going to be totally off the board, but I'm trying some weird stuff.
Yeah, so I'm playing some Pittsburgh, and then I'm gonna play some Oakland and some Colorado. Like I said,
I like that.
Yeah, I was gonna play some San Francisco. I don't even know who's playing though, but some of those guys are cheap. Like the Machado, if he gets in, is cheap. He's supposedly not bad. But I don't know. Arias is probably the best pitcher on the slate as far as just being a good pitcher. I don't know if I want to mess with that.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. You look at Blake Snell, who's got the K rate is insane against this Colorado team, but I don't mind taking a bat against him. Like I have a lineup with Crone and Snell in the same lineup. I don't think there's any problem with taking hitters against your pitchers. I tried desperately to avoid the Padres, but I'm going to play some Padres, and I think what I'm going to do is probably find a way to stack them that will have like a stack without Machado and Soto or something like that.
And needless to say, by the way, I mean I'm playing the Dodgers. I mean that was
I'm playing the playing the Dodgers as well. And they're going to have a little bit of ownership, but
I would hope so. I mean,
yeah, but it won't be crazy. It really depends. I mean, if the St. Louis game doesn't go, which I'm not playing anything from that.
I'm not
game.
playing.
The ownerships are going to shift, of course. The Angels are kind of lower owned than I expected based on their prices. So taking just playing a Walsh and Stassi or something like that, or Walsh, Stassi, and pick any other name, Taylor Ward. I think that's reasonable. That's the way I'm treating this slate, and it's just a bunch of little mini stacks. If there was one team to go off, it does seem like it would be Colorado or Milwaukee, but I just think the ownership is going to be so heavily there. I like your idea with Pittsburgh. I think that's a reasonable idea. I just think there's so much ownership between Milwaukee and San Diego, that I think that it's just good to try to, minimize your exposure to that. If you don't, there's no reason you have to go there completely. Ward and Rengifo completely in play. Mikolas, I wouldn't pitch a pitcher in that game right now. That game might get postponed before the show's over.
So I got, just to let you know, also I have 0 San Diego, and I do have a lineup with Caprillion. I have a couple of lineups with Urias, and just for max LOLs, I have two lineups with Chad Cool. So there we go.
Yeah, I do think. Look, I don't think it's a bad idea. Chad Cool, that's an interesting one. I think that's actually. I like Caprillion better, but that actually makes a little bit of sense. But I don't think that I necessarily need to fade all of it. And again, like I said, I think you can stack San Diego in a way if you leave out Cronenworth, Machado, and Soto. Yeah, you're giving up a lot, but that's what won everything last night was the Braves stack without Acuna, with the Rosario instead of Acuna. That's you can sometimes take the popular teams and get the lower owned guys, and I think it's worth taking some shots with that for sure. I do like
Trace, because Trace Thompson hitting 5th at 3,400 in the Dodger game.
I'm going to bet today that I have a weird home run bet that I think that Andrew McCutchen will hit a home run today.
Ooh, there you go.
I just have a feeling. So he's my one Milwaukee guy that I'm really using here. But I did get a little bet in on it. So and then the pitching, if you're I'm trying not to use Ohtani. And I think on FanDuel I'll just do it because I'm not playing that many lineups over there and their tournaments aren't as big, so I don't need to worry as much. But I think Mikolas is supposed to get it. It's going to be Snell, Urias, and Ohtani with pretty much all of the ownership. So anything else you want to do, whether it's Caprillion or Cool or something like that, I think that's actually totally viable. Or going about, building the way that I'm talking about, using some of these low-owned, high upside bats. It's hard to call Oakland high upside, but these just completely unowned bats like Laureano, Seth Brown, Tony Kemp, any of these guys, actually, Sean Murphy batting third. There's no lock that says Ohtani has to go out there and pitch his gem tonight. He is off sometimes, and the Angels bullpen has gotten significantly worse. And you can run on Ohtani a little bit. He also gives us some power. So that's what I'm doing. Goldie says he likes the catch pivot off of Profar. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Wondering if optimal build is like Urias, Ohtani, and punt stacks. I don't think you need to punt that hard to do it, to be honest with you. It's pretty easy to get a lot of this stuff in just in the mid tier, in the low, the 3K range, like the Angels for whatever. I think that the chalk build is going to be Snell and Ohtani by
a lot.
Yeah, and I think Urias will be the next one.
Who do these guys? Who do you think gets in for San Francisco? These 2K guys: Mercedes, Gonzalez, Machado.
Against Urias, Mercedes should be hitting. Should be Mercedes. I wouldn't bet on Gonzalez. I don't really like any of those guys, to be honest with you, though. Urias has faced these guys 1,000 times, and I think they've, as a team, hit let me just double check this. I think they hit 2 home runs for their career as hundreds of at bats. Is that right? Might be a mismemory here. Let me see real quick. Because you want to try and find anything you can to do different than the obvious chalk. I am going to have some exposure to some of those San Diego guys, but it'll be with the Oaklands and the other stuff, weird stuff that I'm doing. No, they've got more than that. I'm sorry about that. But they are hitting 0.85 against him, which is pretty low.
Who is Outman?
Outman is the Dodgers' young guy. He had a home run his first at bat last week.
Okay, he's 2,000.
Yeah. Yeah, there's tons of value. You don't need any help with value, I don't think, on this. Mercedes is the one who, if you're the San Francisco guy who seems like it makes most sense, but he obviously will get pinch hit for, but at the same time, if Urias pitches long into the game, if you're only playing one guy, Mercedes should get at least 3 at bats. Trent Grisham's priced, but he'll be popular. You've got the cheap guys from Oakland, from LA, pretty much all of them. David Fletcher is leading off at 2,500. Jared Walsh is only 3,400. Rengifo, I'm not probably going to touch, but I think other people will play him a little bit. He's okay. Stassi, 3,600. I think they're reasonable, and Taylor Ward at 3,800. Yeah, there's 2 Dodgers at 2K, and then there's other ones that are not that much more. It's not the ace Dodger lineup here. This is the Thursday. We're going to play Vargas, Outman. We're going to let Trace Thompson hit 5th off of a variety. It is. If you're full 5-man stacking the Dodgers, I would say that's actually not a good move tonight. This is not a lineup that should give you a lot of confidence. This is probably the worst lineup the Dodgers have put out all season long. And it also means everybody is pinch hit risk, which means Outman, Barnes, Vargas, Trace, all of those guys may not play the whole game. So just keep that in mind.
The Oakland lineup is out. If anybody was interested in that.
I am interested. I want to see what it is. Oh, yeah, I saw that it was out, actually. Yeah, Kemp, Laureano. And then they put Mashin down at the bottom. Okay, so forget that. So Kemp, Laureano, then Seth Brown, then Murphy would be my favorites. Oh, no, Andrus you could throw in there, too. Another stolen base threat, at least. Although doesn't run as like he used to, but still, he still has a chance at it. Yeah, just one of these slates you got to get a little bit weird and different. Yeah, the Cubs are a significant postponed risk. I don't have any more information than that.
With any luck for the people who play them, you get that news early.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Sean Murphy there.
I think Laureano is my favorite play on this slate.
I like that.
3,800 power and speed. I like it. Guys, pop in any more questions, any more thoughts? This is an interesting way to just to try to practice getting different and being fine if you come in last and trying to build something different enough to give you a chance at first.
Is this guy like an actual major leaguer? This Vargas?
I mean, none of them are guys who you should expect to see much of. So I wouldn't.
Okay.
I mean, you're not looking for real hitters. It's not. If you're trying to fill out a stack, which I just don't find the need to do it. I can't seem to need that kind of value from them because I like my other value and they're gonna be owned because they're on the Dodgers.
Right.
Not a ton. I don't think Vargas will be owned much. I think that the other guys will all have some ownership. Any thoughts on the Thursday night Hall of Fame game, Jack? No thoughts at all on any football yet for me. I'm giving it a little bit more time till I start getting my football thoughts. But we will do an early show and stuff like that about week 1 and all that.
Oh yeah.
I have no thoughts as of right now. I'm just gearing up and ramping up my football knowledge. Just Goldie, you say you got wrecked on Cole. Cole, I looked at a lot of the top, not the ones that won the tournaments, but a lot of people in the top 2 or 3 had Cole in the lineup. So you definitely could have won without Cole. Everybody was saying that. And it was funny. People were joking. He gave up 6 runs and he had a terrible game, but he gave up 6 runs and had a negative 14 at one point or 13 or whatever it was. And he ended up with 13 fantasy points or 12.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts? For what it's worth, this team has not touched Ohtani ever. But they have only faced him, I think, 2 times. So
if you were thinking of playing Jonah Bride, he's out.
Yeah, Bride is out. So that's got my Andrus and Kemp are my guys, I think, and Laureano. That's the way I'm going to do it.
Yeah, the Laureano. Is it Laureano or Laureano?
Laureano, yeah. He's a guy I really like because he swings really hard and he has power and he also will run. So he just doesn't hit much for average. Sean Murphy also has power. There's enough guys here. This could work, man. Come on, let's get behind the team with a 2.7 run total to try and win all the money.
Who's got a 2.7 run total?
The A's.
Yeah, why not? Muncie.
Okay, and guys popping any more the Rockies. Goldie's on the Rockies too. I like it. I think it's another really good move. I think it's the other way you could go with this. If I'm doing the Fade Ohtani thing, I think that certainly playing the Rockies against Snell is absolutely just as, if not more, viable, and probably similarly low ownerships. But they are more expensive, but not much of a problem if you can spend down with some of these other value bets. I think Colorado is interesting. The Snell walk rate is pretty terrible, and Colorado's actually been surprisingly decent against left-handed pitching. So I don't mind it. Sheets are with you on the Rockies, it looks like.
Yeah, this is a ridiculous slate. But, yeah, I'm leaving all kinds of money on the table everywhere. All kinds of nonsense plays. I don't think I have a share of Soto. Let's see. Let me see. No, I got 2 lineups with Soto in it. I got 1 lineup with Machado in it. And we'll just hope that the Dodgers just go nuts a little bit.
Yep.
Grisham is really good price at 2,900.
Yeah, Grisham down at the bottom of the order. I've got some of just bottom, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then also you have to pay. Drury is going to be the lowest owned of them, and because he's hitting 6th, and he's 5,900 of the top 6. So I like the 6 through 1 wraparound or something like that.
Whatever that's called.
Yeah, it's a wraparound. That's a legit wraparound.
Yeah, it's a big wrap.
Yeah, it's a 5-man wrap.
Yep.
I'm saying if you're insistent on playing the Padres, that would be what I would suggest trying something like that.
So you know what's going to happen. You know what pitcher's going to win the slate? It's going to be like Mikolas.
Wait, yeah, well,
that game's going to play, and he's going to he's going to pitch.
Look, if I think that game's going to play, I will play Mikolas. I have no problem just jumping over to that, and then all these bats that have been sort of dwindled ownership wise all day from St. Louis.
Yep, or Chicago.
Or Chicago. I don't know if I want to play bats against Mikolas particularly, but never works out for me.
Yeah, but you know what? If they go 3 innings, then go rain delay, then Mikolas gets replaced. I don't know if I want to put actual money on that proposition, but
yeah, there's a real. Now we're really thinking.
We're doing something. I don't know if I'm thinking. Let me just see. I like to look ahead. Let me see what the slate looks like tomorrow. Is tomorrow one of those funky?
Not really.
Let me just see. Is there no, tomorrow? It's a little bit of an annoyance, but not really. It's a 3-gamer at 3:45. Let me see who's pitching in that, or who's playing in that.
Oh God, I'll skip that one.
$50K for first for the lottery. Let's see who's got Kershaw. Got Kershaw and Musgrove. I wonder if anybody's going to play those two. Yeah, Musgrove home against Colorado. Oh, they got the return of Jansen Junk against Oakland. Okay.
Unfortunately, I may have to go in a minute because I've got a call with a doctor in like 2 minutes. So
I'm definitely going. There's nothing to talk about here.
Oh, highest owned golfer for Wyndham. Sheets. Who's your highest owned golfer for Wyndham?
Okay, I will tell you who that is. I'm pretty sure that it's Sebastian Munoz.
I'm pretty high on him too now.
but I will confirm that. And I already told you guys that he is in my big buy-in, along with Aaron Wise. But I will give you my actual highest owned. I don't think unless somebody withdraws, I'm not changing this. Let me just see. 26, 29, 1 sec. Not this one. I think it's this one. Actually, yes. It's actually Connors, Munoz, Wise, and Varner. Those are my top 4.
So I have no Varner, but I have everybody else you mentioned
Yeah.
near the top of my list.
Those are my top ones. And as far this is interesting. As far as leverage goes, Munoz highest over the field, and the rest I'm just a little bit over on some of my guys. I'm not really taking any big, huge percentages of guys that are like 2% owned or anything like that. Which I kind of like. I'm like over on everybody that I have, like a decent part of, but not.
Yeah.
I'm not like craziness.
I'm over on Jason Day, heavy, Davis Riley, and then I'm playing some Lahiri, Lower, Buckley, guys that we talked about earlier.
The guy I'm lowest on relative to the field is, I think, Harmon.
I've got a decent amount of Harmon.
Yeah, and then I have very little Kevin Kisner, who will be double digits. I have probably half the field on M, half the field on Zalatoris. Yeah, I feel I'm pretty. That's the way I'm putting it. I'm pretty smooth. You know what I mean? I have like pretty much double the ownership on the guys that I like, and like half the ownership on the guys I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
no,
I kind of like it.
I like that. All right. Well, I'm going to bounce, guys. I will see you guys later. Sheets, good luck tonight. Good luck, everybody. And I'll be in Discord if anybody needs anything.
All right. See you guys later.